Hello everybody and welcome back again to another bonus episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. I promised you another episode of Party Banter and more Party Banter you shall get. So I'm back here at Griffin Wing Keep and I will try a few more combinations to see what we can get here. I don't actually know how much more banter I will be able to trigger, so this may be a short episode or not. However, I can say for certain that some combinations of companions don't actually give me any new results this way. For example, people have been telling me that I should try Dorian and Iron Bull, but they're not giving me any new banter.
This is a dry heat. No good at all.
Yeah, all they do is give some, general remarks on the region, and I've tried this a couple of times, and they just don't give me anything new. So, I mean, if they have some banter that I have missed, I can only assume that it is due to the restrictions of whatever weird hack made this triggering possible in the first place, because I don't think it's supposed to work like that. But I mean, it's fine. I think by using this method I got a lot more party banter than I would normally. And I mean, everything that I miss is something for another playthrough. People have been saying in the comment that, some of them played the game several times and they still find new party banter by watching Let's Plays. So I don't think you're supposed to hear everything in one playthrough. So this is something for a replay. By the way, speaking of replays, I mean, as you know, once I'm done with this game and the DLC and everything, I am going to play the Mass Effect series. But at some point, once I settled in with Mass Effect, I will probably start a replay of Inquisition with a new Inquisitor. Because I want to try, first of all, a different world state, and obviously a lot of different decisions, specifically the Templar mission. And I mean, people have been asking me back then whether I would like to share my first playthrough of the Templar mission. And I know that I could just go back and replay the same the mission with Freya. I still have some saves from back then, I guess. But I don't really want to do that. I did it in Dragon Age 2, playing the end of the game on the Templar side, but that didn't really make much of a difference, so it didn't really matter. But I think for this game I want to get the whole experience, whole new Inquisitor and all the consequences that come with siding with the Templars. So I'm going to save this for another playthrough. And yeah, if you're interested, and then I can upload the videos from that playthrough when I do the Templar mission. As a matter of fact, if you like, I can post, occasional videos from that playthrough, pertaining to the main story, where I make decisions that are different, or companion missions where I make decisions that are different, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it wouldn't be a full playthrough like this one. It will be, I don't know, maybe an episode per week, or maybe two, or sometimes maybe no episodes at all for a week. Whenever I have time to play, I will play my new Inquisitor, and I can give you some selected videos from it if you're interested. It will not be a blind let's play, not fully blind, of course, because I finished it already. But especially when it comes to the Templar mission, I mean, that will be sort of blind, I guess. And yeah, my main priority will be Mass Effect, and my main priority will be to record daily episodes of Mass Effect. But, whenever I have time, I will replay Dragon Age Inquisition as some sort of side project, and I can share some videos from that, I suppose. Anyway, but first of all, let's try to get more party banter. For how about trying all the mages at once?
The wind is a bit sandy, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes they just don't say anything new. They just, make remarks on the landscape.
All right, ma'am. I get that Skyhold needs a fresh coat of paint.
At the bare minimum. Ideally, we could have the battlements enameled or sheathed in marble.
But it looks good, right? With that silhouette, it's just daring somebody to try to attack it.
This is the limitation of your upbringing under the Qun, darling. Skyhold must not merely unnerve potential foes, it must entice potential allies.
Well, that's why we have you and Josephine. And apparently marble sheets.
Yeah, I'm actually with Iron Bull on this one, and I wasn't raised under the Qun, and I still think that using marble on the battlements may not be such a good idea. Especially since marble, I mean, is marble actually a very strong stone? I don't know.
So you're fat with it, right?
Me? Are you referring to...
Do you sleep on silk while gold shits down all over you? Are you rich?
I left all that behind. Although I do miss the gold shitting from time to time.
You really left it, hey? Knew you weren't all bad.
So mages in the circle really have to defend themselves against a demon.
As part of our harrowing, we must prove we can defend against possession and are thus no danger to the world.
Demons. That's messed up.
Don't worry, my dear. Should we encounter demons, I will protect you.
Iron Bull and Vivienne have become quite good friends, haven't they? I'm surprised how much dialogue those two have.
So, how is Candy? You two have a good time?
Yes. She danced. Then I untangled the hurt that made her angry at her mother. I helped her write a letter to send back home. She said I could call her Marguerite. The name didn't hurt anymore.
Well, that was 5 royals well spent.
Oh, Paul, did you buy a prostitute for Cole? And Cole didn't sleep with her, but helped her, of course. Oh, that's so funny.
We played by the fire so she would be warm. No, it's summer, Liddy.
This thing you do. Maybe you should stop doing it?
Got her a flower, but they'd taken her. Left it on her bed. Next ate on the sill. Tawny sands, a garden seat, 5 to chantry altars, 1 to a child with her hair. The sea? Too many to count. And 36 tossed off the battlements today.
Go bother Solus.
You have many feelings. I'm sorry she died.
Oh my god. I don't really know what Cole is talking about, but whatever it is, it seems to be getting to Blackwall.
Is it true that Kirkwall's Knight Commander became a statue?
Absolutely true. She's still there, bringing an extra dose of horror to gallows tourists.
No one's moved it. I mean her.
And make it impossible for children to play Who's Brave Enough to Poke Meredith.
They don't actually do that, do they?
No, no one's brave enough to poke Meredith.
Well, apparently somebody moved it now because it's in the Black Emporium. You're not up to date, Varric.
You're good with that sword.
Thanks.
I see all that time on your own has given you a firm grip.
Well, that was a very short one.
You must be greatly relieved, Vivian, after what happened at the Winter Palace.
The entire Empire breathes a sigh of relief, darling.
Your position is also secure, considering how instrumental the Inquisition was in Celine's survival.
I was pleased to have even a small part in the endeavor.
We're not in court, dear woman. No need for the honey.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think he knows your tells. Anyway, I wonder what Vivienne would have had thought about, you know, letting Empress Celine die and replacing her with Gaspar. I have the feeling that she may not have liked that.
What do you think your Templar is doing now? Trying to make a new life for himself?
Stop. It isn't about you.
What?
Callier, his family, his children. You wonder if some part of them watches you still. You wonder if they want you to feel guilty. If they want you to make up for what you did, but they don't. If they're watching, all they want is not to have died. It isn't about you.
We are a pair, you and I. The victim and the murderer.
If you want to remember, remember this. If you become Rainier again, I will be here, and I will kill you. And if I become a demon again and hurt people, you will kill me.
I believe I can work with that.
Well, that is unusually angry for Cole. That's interesting. Really, really interesting.
You're weird, Bull. You have all this Kyun stuff, but you think Andraste is confusing.
I think you're confusing. How can you just pick and choose what parts you believe in?
There's real and there's really real.
Or, as normal people would say, real and not real.
I know what I said. I do.
Yeah, don't try to understand, Sarah. I don't think you'll have much success with that.
When you charge at them, you make them hit you.
Ideally. That's why my armor's heavier than yours.
Okay.
You doing all right, Bull? I heard you breathing a little hard after the last fight.
Lung exercises, clearing the stale humors. It's a Kyun thing.
Uh-huh.
Hey, some of us have to swing a giant hunk of metal instead of pulling our girlfriend's trigger from the back ranks.
Ouch.
Too close to home.
No, that was good. I should find some way to work that into my next book.
All right, but it was my line. You're gonna credit me in the acknowledgements, right?
I'm sure he will.
Hey, furrows.
What? Me?
Yes, furrows between the eyes, moping, lost in your own issues.
Can't a man think without being judged for it?
I'm not judging. I was gonna say you're pretty good at it. I can't pull that off.
A tragedy, for sure.
And I mean, if you're going to brood, you might as well reap the benefits.
What benefits?
The ladies.
I don't know. It may work on some, but it has to be, the proper amount of brooding. I guess Blackwall is a bit broody, but I think he's not quite as bad as some of the guys from Dragon Age 2. And too much brooding isn't sexy either, so you have to find the right balance here.
You could have been one of the Chargers, Blackwall. You've got the stature, the attitude.
And you'd be my boss.
Hey, I'm a great boss. I'm a firm believer in No Pants Fridays.
And a mercenary. I'm done with that part of my life.
Why? Because you're better now. Because there's something wrong with working for gold. The thing about my guys, they're honest with themselves. You could have learned that lesson.
Ooh, born again, Iron Bull. But Blackwall, no pants Fridays.
You enjoy mocking my involvement with the Inquisition. What about yours? People like you, nobles, you send men to do your dirty work. You're killing. And here you are, getting your hands dirty. Curious.
There is nothing curious about it. So much is at stake. Why would I leave any of it to someone else?
Well, that's not a bad point, actually. And yeah, I'm trying to use combinations of two companions now so I can better see what combinations still work.
So, Cassandra, if you were trained young, how long have you been giving Andraste's hairy eyeball?
Andraste's what?
The sword eye hair thing. You know, knock knock, Inquisition, Andraste's hairy eyeball says, "What are you doing?"
The eye is wreathed in fire. The light of the Maker and the flames of Andraste's sacrifice.
Oh, you need better painters. I just figured she was ginger.
She was.
Well, there you go then.
No, there we don't go.
Oh my god.
Still on about Milady Josie and her tricky tongue. And I've been thinking again. Shut up. Here's how I'll do it too. I find a knob right, and I seduce him.
I worry where this might be going.
Wait, not done yet. He thinks he's being seduced. But when it's time for slap and tickle, I jump up and say, I like your wife better.
And the goal would be?
He thinks he's in charge, but he isn't. I am.
I don't know what to say.
Then I'll punch him to make sure he gets it.
Oh, Sarah. I do love you.
Yeah, those two guys seem to be getting along quite well, and yeah, Sarah is still kind of crazy.
Think I could find some sentinel breeches
Do I want to ask what for?
so I could wear history on my butt. Butt history.
Okay.
Mythol was some crazy shit, huh?
Not talking about it.
Really? That's what's off limits?
No, it's just simple. Demons and rubbish. Simple.
Yeah, I think you two can bond over your fear of demons, I suppose.
Here's a guess for you, Sarah. Ansberg.
Not bad. It should sound more southern.
Fine then. High ever.
Well, you're not very good at this.
I don't really know Ferelden that well.
Just guess. Somewhere fun.
Yeah, I don't really know what those two are doing. It's some sort of guessing game that I don't understand.
Sarah, if you eschew all things elven, why not a crossbow? They require less training.
Ugh, too winchy.
Ah, yes. Winchiness. A point I had not considered.
Yes, really, Solus. Think ahead. Think ahead.
You're really good with that bow, Sarah. You lay down solid cover fire.
2 eyes. Helps, yeah?
Another guess, Sarah. Were you born in Denerim?
What? No. Is that what you're trying for?
That was the question that began this whole thing.
That was your question. I just hoped something on the map would rhyme with arse. Besides, I don't know or much care where I was born.
Arse.
Oh, for me.
This is actually kind of cute.
You didn't always have a beard.
I didn't emerge from my mother with a hairy face, no.
I saw a sketch of Todd Reynard. No beard.
Warden Blackwall had a beard.
That explains everything.
Well, apparently there's a mod that can remove Blackwall's beard. I actually thought about using it, you know, after all he doesn't really need to wear a beard anymore. But then I thought, well, maybe I'm going to do this on a replay and keep Blackwall like he is for now.
Sarah, I noticed in a recent fight, you killed someone I was already dealing with.
You were doing it too slow.
Just to be clear, you wish me to manipulate the delicate balance of the primordial energy of the Fade faster.
You're not making it worse. It's bad enough you people do that at all.
Are you mad that she's stealing your kills, Solus?
I think I figured out how you fight, Sarah.
Good for you?
You don't actually like thinking about hurting people, do you? Chopping them down, making the blood spray.
It's not the hurting. It's parts.
Right. So if we hack them up, you have to do it without thinking about it.
So?
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I don't need to think about what I do. I do what I do.
Vivian, I'm curious. You must have crossed paths with Lady Morrigan in the court, yes?
There is no need to use that title, my dear. She is an ill-bred apostate, nothing more.
Odd. I'd have thought you'd easily relate to a commoner of ambition.
You thought incorrectly. It's outrageous that she's been forced on the Inquisition.
Well, I kind of
I
welcomed her.
welcomed her among us, Vivienne. As did Celine. Yet the only one I've seen benefit is Morrigan herself.
Yeah, I can see that Vivienne would not take kindly to that. The fact that the Empress would actually ask some apostate instead of her. I mean, that's a serious threat to her power, right? But I always like Banter, where Freya can actually chime in. That's always very nice.
I know this is a radical suggestion, but have you considered just talking to her?
No, never occurred to me. End of story. So, worst place you've ever been?
Well, that would depend on whether or not I was there alone.
You're gonna make me talk to her, aren't you?
Just try hello.
I wonder what they're talking about. Maybe Josephine? Maybe Josephine.
Did you see the look on those nobles' faces back at the Winter Palace, Chuckles?
They seemed unaccustomed to seeing elves without servants' livery, or dwarves at all.
Priceless. That's definitely going in my next story.
Are you planning a chapter filled with courtly intrigue?
Close. I need to describe the face someone makes when they choke down something terrible.
Okay.
Is the Qun some kind of big secret? How come no Kunari I've met will explain it even slightly?
It's not a secret. It's just too big for a quick chat. Tell me about the Qun is like saying tell me about economics. Most Kunari know just enough to get by. It's like blind dwarves trying to figure out a dragon by touch. Only the priests really have the whole picture, and they spend their whole lives figuring that crap out.
Well, I'll leave them to it then.
Yep, just my opinion.
Varric, darling, what manner of villain am I in your novel?
You're the, scheming duchess? Coldly maneuvering her political rivals into a trap?
Yes, but what am I wearing? You're not going to describe me in anything less than the latest fashions, are you?
I'm, going to spend the next few weeks researching Orlesian gowns, aren't I?
Yes, my dear. And my mask should be inlaid with opals.
So Varric is writing a novel with Vivienne as a villain. That's just perfect.
Hey, Tiny, any chance you could get out of the way when I'm trying to shoot?
Maybe you should stand in front of me. I'd still have a clear shot at all the bad guys from the knees up.
You're calling the Iron Bull tiny. Okay.
Did you believe the Conclave could achieve peace, Cassandra?
I had hope, as did we all.
The Templars went to war to force mages back into their circles, which the mages would never agree to. What solution could Divine Justinia have offered when all sides rejected compromise?
The war was going nowhere for either side. That they went at all showed they realized this.
Or they believed the other side would relent.
We shall never know now.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I don't know if the Conclave would have achieved anything at all.
You know, Seeker, I really like hitting things.
So I gathered.
I knew you'd understand.
Well, that's something to bond over. I also like hitting things, by the way.
Hey, Seeker, if I hit a guy high while you go low, you think we could get him to flip?
Flip?
Yes. Ass over tea kettle, you know.
I suppose that could be done.
I've always wanted to get a guy to flip.
Okay.
So, you gonna squeeze up to her or not?
What? Squeeze up to who?
Lady Josie, I've seen you doing that nightly stuff.
Make her, Sarah. No, stay out of it.
You're all shy. What, you think you can't treat her right?
No, it's not...
I'll show you. I just need a peach. A ripe one. Because if you do it right... Ripe. Down there.
Please, no peaches, ripe or otherwise.
Well, I can't teach you bananas. That'd be like showing you swords. Oh, remember, do not use it like a sword.
How do I make this stop?
You don't, Blackwood. You don't.
You remind me of someone I used to know. He was fascinated with the Fade and spirits too.
A mage?
No, just a man who likes eating these strange purple cactus berries. I don't think he was ever actually in the Fade.
Probably not.
Cole, are those real clothes or...
They're real. What else would they be?
I thought maybe you conjured them, like your physical form.
Do you conjure yours? Is that why they look like that?
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Actually, I crafted your clothes, both of you. And I think Dorian looks absolutely dashing in silk and nugskin. Don't you think so?
When we fight, you make them not people, so their death doesn't stick to you.
Yes, pick that up in Saharan. Got to keep it separate. Out here, anything could be a threat. You kill for the team, no questions asked.
I see it. A wall of wounds. Nothing on this side has a family.
When we're at the tavern or back home, it goes back to normal. People get to be people again.
What if someone attacks you in a tavern?
That's when shit gets messed up.
That's a good question, Cole.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea that someone walked into the Fade again.
We should count ourselves fortunate no cataclysm was unleashed.
So far as we know.
What are you suggesting, my dear? An invisible cataclysm lurking amongst us?
We don't know what happened to Corypheus and his lot. Even he doesn't seem to, not clearly. I'm saying we should be careful what we assume when it comes to such matters.
Wise words, uncharacteristic as that might be.
Yeah, I guess he has a point there.
You know, Cassandra, you really ought to have armor with gilding. Or dragon scales. Preferably both.
Would that not be impractical?
It would be dramatic, my dear. Half the value of armor is intimidation.
I prefer the half that keeps blades out of my innards, personally.
Cassandra, you and I, we should form a club.
Hey, Solus, how do you say excuse me in Elven or whatever?
For you, it would be Ara Seranama. It is coincidence that your name is within. The base form is common.
Thanks. And now when I don't say it, you'll know it's on purpose.
Oh god.
I notice you used a nullification enchantment combined with an offensive attack.
The nullification disrupts any ambient magic lying about. Things then burn hotter.
Don't you then waste an inordinate amount of magic overcoming your own nullification?
Ah, no. I warp the veil slightly to affect distance between the spells.
Of course. Have you considered snapping the veil warp to enhance the relative energy?
Like cracking a whip. Yes, tried it once. Made my teeth taste funny.
I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'm sure it's very interesting.
Elf root. Do elves just call it root?
No, we have another name for it.
Well, that's no fun.
You spend too much time with Sarah.
Solus may be onto something there.
I will remember this when it is over.
This war? The Inquisition?
The people. How you fought against the tide. It is courageous.
Well, thank you, I guess. But I mean, you're part of it as well, so.
That redhead in the last town, remember her?
Too elfy.
Your loss.
How do you and elves even work?
That's a good question, Sarah. That's a very good question.
I confess, Iron Bull, I had assumed you would not be comfortable fighting alongside a mage.
We use Cerebos when we need to.
That is hardly the same.
No, ma'am. Fighting with you is more like hitting an enemy while a dreadnought pounds their front line. All fire and smoke ahead of you. Half the enemy already on the ground by the time you get there.
So I am a Canary dreadnought.
I, didn't mean to offend you.
Not at all. I am Madame de Fer.
Yeah, I'm sure it's meant as a compliment, Vivienne. Alright, I think I have tried pretty much every conceivable combination several times by now, and it's getting increasingly difficult to get them to say anything except, you know, the general remarks on the region. So I think I'm going to end it here. It's not going to be as long an episode as the last one, but it should be enough for a decent length. And yeah, any party banter that I haven't picked up yet, I guess it's just not possible to trigger this way. This is going to be for another playthrough or whatever. I think I found a lot of it, and some of it was really funny. So let's just call it an episode here. And yeah, tomorrow we're going back to the Hissing Wastes and finish that place, and then we're going to kick Corypheus' ass, right? So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.